not going to have our clients speak right now. What they had to say, they said it. What they had to say, they said in court, and they were very courageous and brave for coming forward. This is very difficult on them. All of the attention is not attention that they want, but it's attention that the case needs in order to get the right result. So we appreciate the attention, but we're hoping that you'll respect their privacy at the same time, if that's possible. Thank you.
Can you debrief the public on exactly what they said in court so the public has a chance to hear what they said, exactly what the two women said to the judge?
Well, both support the government's position of no bail. Both believe not only is he a flight risk for the obvious reasons, but also that that is the only way to secure the safety of the community. And each had a story to tell, a personal story to tell that is similar to that of many other victims.
Right, or David, what's your take on their argument that the two payments to the alleged co-conspirators were an act of generosity?
Well, one of the things that I said in court today when I addressed the judge was that they claimed that there was no proceeding going on at the time the payments were made. In fact, there was a proceeding going on. We were in the middle of suing Mr. Epstein and several of his confederates in civil court. And an effort was being made to take depositions and interview people. And we had several instances where we had cooperating people who were prepared to talk to us, and then they would get lawyers hired by Mr. Epstein, and they'd stop cooperating. So this was part of a pattern, and one that was very disturbing to us. And we made that point to the court today. But I think that, as Brad says, the most powerful testimony was not from any of the lawyers in there. It was from these two brave women who were prepared to step forward and talk. And it took a lot of courage for them to do that. I think both Brad and I are enormously proud of them. And they told the story about how, as young teenagers, they were abused by Mr. Epstein, and asked the court not to release him pending trial.
Mr. Boyce, what do you say to his argument, the defense argument, that Mr. Epstein has been engaged in 14 years of self-discipline and he should be trusted and be allowed to go out on bail?
Well, I think there are several things to say about Mr. Epstein's argument in that respect. First, there's a congressional statute that creates a presumption that somebody accused of these crimes should not be released. Second, the fact that no one's proven what he's done over the last 14 years is not proof that he wasn't engaged in improper conduct. Third, the conduct that he has engaged in is horrific. And it is exactly the kind of conduct that Congress had in mind when it said people that engage in this conduct, there should be a presumption that they not be released.
Do the photos that the government found in the search last week indicate to you possibly a propensity for continuing this kind of behavior?
I don't know anything about those photographs other than what you've heard in court, but certainly anybody that keeps thousands of pictures of nude and semi-nude children in his home is somebody that I think could present a danger to the community.
Pornographic trophies doesn't seem like the best way to rehabilitate oneself.
Right.
Brad, how hard was it for Courtney to walk into court today to be just steps from Jeffrey Epstein again?
Very hard, and she didn't plan to speak today. It just so happened that she felt moved to speak and the need to speak because if this decision comes down to the wire and it's a close call, she at least wants her voice to be heard and for the judge to hear from her that there is a real danger presented. And hearing directly from a victim is the only way that anyone's really going to understand what it really means. She came from Florida here only for this purpose. So that says a lot anyway.
Can you tell us your client's age?
Guys, no more through here. No more through here.
I can tell you that my client was 14 at the time that she was abused by Mr. Epstein.
What was the status of your two civil suits? Did he put up a defense that he doesn't want to make any payment? Where does that stand?
The civil case was settled with a payment of money.
How much was the payment?
He insisted as a condition of the payment that it be kept
So
confidential.
your case was settled.
Yes.
David, was your client, she mentioned meeting Jeffrey Epstein here in New York at 16 and then being flown to New Mexico. Was she trafficked?
I certainly consider that trafficking. There was an argument in court by Mr. Epstein's lawyers that this was not quintessential sex trafficking, whatever that is. These were girls who were procured, transported across state lines, kept under supervision. Girls as young as 14, as you just heard, who were way below the age of consent. They were lent out to people who Jeffrey Epstein wanted to have relationships with, gain favors from. This was as commercial a sex trafficking operation as you can imagine.
Is she part of the New York investigation? Has she spoken with prosecutors?
We can't go into that.
And we don't know. We don't know who the Jane Does are.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You're in-house, sir. You can go ask the marshal. It's right, but you're correct. Thank you.
All settled as part of that process that was set up in the DPA. Or at least was
Victoria.